Okay, there we go. Was having a little bit of an issue there with my I guess it was the Steam Deck specifically having an issue connecting to OBS, but that's all insider baseball, nothing you guys really need to worry about. Hello there once again, Raiders, traders, scabbers, everything in between. It's me, your boy Toshi. How's it going? What's up? The fuck am I seeing here? There's an updated sound alerts. Sound alerts, please do not. Oh my god. Fucking so I just fucking gotta so I run a couple of different things on my streams, right? One of the things that I have connected to Twitch specifically is this thing called sound alerts, which is like I'm pretty sure it's still in the bottom section of my Twitch. I just haven't fucking updated it in a hot minute. But the what is it? There's like a soundboard down there, right? You can hit different buttons and they do different things. They play like different audio cues, and it's funny because I got a notification in the chat there. Some of you guys might be able to see it in the actual chat, but it says, "Hey, there's a new update coming to Soundboard. Please go. We need some permissions. Please log in on the dashboard link." And one of the other things that I have running in here is a system called Botrix, which helps to, keep out like spam and potentially dangerous links and stuff like that, and also just basic like automated moderation stuff. And it actually fucking triggered on the sound alert thing. It said, "Please do not send links," and then it's in the right channel and everything. But it was just so funny. Like two bots are fucking butting heads basically, which I thought was just very silly. My little meow 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 indeed meow meow meow. But yes, hello once again, everybody. You're back with your boy follower Toshi. I hope y'all had a good week. I hope you had a good weekend. Good week, and the start of your week is off to a banger of a thingamajig, as it were. Me personally, I had a good weekend. It was pretty decent. Got some things done. Could have been a little bit more productive, but hey, that's how it goes. But this week has been crazy. This week has just been absolutely fucking insane. Let me we'll give it a couple more minutes for people to start cycling in, and then we'll actually get into the meat and potatoes of what's been going on this week. Because sorry, I had to take a drink of my gasoline there, keep me fueled. What up, Toshi? What up, Shadow Man Fan 1? How's it going? How's it going, President Richardson? How's it going, everybody else out there in computer land? In D&D, I made a 74-shot revolver. Any name ideas? The big gun, the big iron, the Perminator, the deleter, the gabagoo, the hole maker, the hole puncher, the stapler. I don't know. I'm just fucking saying words at this point. Thank you for the subscription, Michael Rochelle. Michelle Rochelle. I don't know. I can't read. But thank you for the subscription either way. The biggest iron, yeah. I suppose since it's a revolver and it's a 74. Thank you for the subscription, Jordan Day. I suppose since it's a revolver and it has 74 shots, that would probably make it legally the biggest iron. Thank you for the follow, President Richardson. What a gamer. What an absolute lad. Tubby Rock Plays. Thank you for subscribing. Hell yeah. That's one of those infinite ammo weapons from action movies. I know, right? It's one of the movies, or one of the weapons you see in like old 80s movies. Redacted Special Agent Delta. Thank you for subscribing. Hell yeah. It's one of those weapons that you see the hero always have, and they're always shooting, but you never see him reload. It's like, dude, that guy's got a fucking 200 Magnum. You're like 200 round Magnum. What the fuck? Thank you for subscribing, Reven Prod. Hell yeah. Absolute big, huge fucking gamer energy. So So what's been going on this week? Thank you for subscribing. Call of Death YT. Hell yeah. Epic gamer moment. So what's been going on this week? One of the big things, it takes like 4 minutes to reload. Yeah, of course, there's 74 shots. Thank you for subscribing, Charles Tipton. Tiptoe Tipton. Big gamer time. Let's go. Morning, Toshi. Good morning, Evil Death Azul. How are you doing? I hope it's good. If it's not, thank you for subscribing, Vlad HTX. God, the first like fucking 10 minutes of my streams are always just like me thanking the fucking backlog of people that have subscribed this week that fucking Botrix decides to remind me about. Thank you for subscribing, Leo. Hell yeah. I think at this point, like every single time I stream, because there's people still subscribing to my YouTube channel and stuff, every single time I stream, I'm going to end up thanking each and every person that subscribes. Thank you for subscribing, Francesco Vertia. Probably horribly butchered that name, but yes. Don't you crickets me, you freak. You unhinged lunatic. Why are you such a gabagoo? Crickets me. Crickets this. I didn't have anything like lined up or planned to respond to that in any sort of significant way. So, just kind of pretend I did something and you are greatly flummoxed by it. I'm good, getting ready to go to Men's Warehouse to talk about my suit. Hell yeah. Let's fucking go. All right. So I think we've been kind of sitting around enough. Let's talk about some of the biggest things that have happened this week. The first big thing as it relates to the Fallout series is that we finally got some information on Fallout London. Fallout London will now be releasing on the gaming platform GOG. I can't remember if GOG stands for anything specifically, but they are a gaming platform similar to Steam or the Epic Games Store. A lot of games get sold through them, and people specifically use a program called GOG Galaxy, which sort of allows. I can just pull it up right here. I have it in my my computer. Good old games, hell yeah. That's what GOG stands for. As you can see, GOG Galaxy will actually show you an entire, like all the games you have installed or not in your gaming category if you have Epic and Steam and everything else connected to it. But so like these are all the games. From Dust. I completely forgot about the game. That game's actually kind of decent. Or at least it was back in like 2009, 2012 when it first dropped. But point is, GOG Galaxy is just this. It's a merged compendium of all other games. So technically, if you wanted to, you could have like GOG on there, and then you don't even need Steam or Epic or any other game service platform to be like a part of your toolbar or whatever. It's one of those like conveniency things. It's an organizational tool in a sense. But as I said, they are also a big no crickets, don't you crickets me. May I has cheeseburger? No, you can have crickets. You eat your crickets and you like it. Your cricket burger. That is actually what it stands for. Oh, really? It stands for good old games? Hell yeah. That's fucking epic. Let's go. Oh, fucking big gulp of my gasoline. My Rockstar Energy sugar-free gasoline. Fucking hate energy drinks. But the point is, Fallout London is, the name kind of implies, a Fallout game set in London, which is the real life fictional home of the British faction. Isn't GOG owned by CDPR? CD Projekt. I don't know why my brain was fucking reading that wrong. I'm not 100% sure. It could be. It could it'd kind of make a little bit of sense if they did, but I just don't know, unfortunately. I could see it either way though. But as it pertains to Fallout London, it is a mod that has been in development for Fallout 4 for a very long time at this point. Like 8 years, I think. It might be a little bit less, but it's been in development for a long time. We've talked about it on this channel quite frequently. It's been sort of like the big next thing in the Fallout modding community. There's been trailers, there's been gameplay footage, there's been mods that have been put out that are a part of the game itself. And, it's just kind of been this big whole build-up thing until until the mod actually drops. It was scheduled to release last month, like right before I think it was actually like 2 or 3 days before the next gen update was scheduled to launch. Fallout London was supposed to launch just before that. And the reason it ended up not is because the next gen update basically made it so that anybody who was doing any sort of mod project had to go back in and, mess with a couple things as far as like scripting and stuff like that goes. As far as I know, that's what they needed to do. I remember there's some mods that just didn't really need to do. So like the next gen update messed with a lot of mods. There's a lot of mods on the Nexus that now just don't work because their scripting hasn't been updated to jive with the next gen update, because, the mod is something minor that was made back in like 2016, like just before or just after the game launched. And it's something that the developer has either just completely abandoned, forgot about, or just doesn't really care about, which I guess abandoned kind of falls into that category. But the point is, the next gen update made it so that if mods that were already on the Nexus wanted to continue to function properly with the next gen update, they basically had to go in and just like I don't know if they just had to like tweak a couple things or whether it was like a bigger thing, but point is, there was a lot of mods that were able to just like really easily go in and update. If I remember correctly, Sim Settlements 3, no, sorry. Sim Settlements 2 Chapter 3 had to like they went and did it, and they were back up and running in like 3 days or whatever, like after the first patch. I'm pretty sure they updated so that they're functioning with the second patch, but the point is that mods had to go in and just like retweak their stuff. For bigger projects like Fallout London, Fallout Miami, Cascadia, stuff like that, it was sort of a larger task, primarily because in a lot of cases they also rely on not needing other mods to be installed, but because other mods were a part of creating their mod, those mods had to get updated so that they could then update the sections of the mod that Fallout London needed, or that Fallout London required for that for their mod to function. It sounds like a very minute difference, and it kind of is, but the point is, Fallout London was delayed, basically. They put out a video talking about the entire situation, I think like a week after the Fallout 4 Next Gen update. I can't remember specifically, but they put out an update and they were talking about like, hey, the Next Gen update kind of, threw everything out of whack. Hold on, I gotta clean my glasses here a little bit. They're kind of dusty, kind of messy. So they're like, hey, we need to go in, we need to fix stuff. Stuff's a little bit out of whack with the next gen update, but we're also having a big problem with just kind of distributing the mod in general. That's one of the interesting things that because I have, to my own detriment, I spend a disturbing amount of time, maybe not a disturbing amount of time, but I spend more time just like talking to people on Twitter than I fucking really should. I need to fucking put my time and effort into fucking finishing up video projects so I can actually fucking, be a content creator again. But it was really weird. I was talking to this one person that didn't really seem to be aware of the fact that one of Fallout London's biggest issues was just distribution. because Fallout London, it says it right down here. Fallout London is a massive Fallout 4 mod. It will be available on GOG after its release. Due to its 30 to 40 gigabyte size, that is a fucking massive game. Fucking Fallout London, it was still built off of Fallout 4's engine and everything, but the game itself is huge. The you can just see it right there, 30 to 40 gigabytes in size. That is not something that the Nexus can even hold, let alone download. They can hold 30 to 40 gigabytes in size, but for one file, that's a big deal. So one of the big problems that they had besides the next gen update was just distribution in general. How are we going to get this mod out into PC players' hands? Because, this is a mod for Fallout 4. It's not something that is going to be available on consoles, at least not anytime soon. I don't know if they're working on it so that it can be something that can be played independent of Fallout 4, so that it can then be printed on a CD or in a digital copy or whatever and sent out and actually playable on consoles. But as it is now, it's only going to be available on GOG. Whether it will be available for other platforms later on, I don't know. But as it relates to right now, we don't have a release date for when it's going to be released on GOG. All we know is that it is going to be distributed via the GOG store. And whether or not you're actually going to need Fallout 4 installed on just any platform in general, I don't think we know that either. Let's see. Mod will release officially on GOG. According to the game website, the team decided GOG is possible. Spokesman revealed the gamers follow like any other. Next gen update is the biggest culprit of Fallout London's delay. It was definitely a big problem. But even if Fallout 4 didn't do an update, their biggest hurdle is still getting this fucking massive game into people's hands, because again, they even say it right here. Where'd it go? Nexus mods, due to its massive size at 34, much bigger in total conversion mods like the Frontier, Fallout New California. Interesting that they bring up both of those, because Fallout the Frontier was originally slated to release on Steam as a standalone thing, and Fallout New California was the first big mod project for the Fallout community. But decided to release on GOG because it was impossible to release the project on Nexus due to its massive size. So the next gen update was a big culprit, but the biggest obstacle they had was just fucking getting the game into people's hands, which it's weird to me. It doesn't seem like people are really fully recognizing that was the mod's biggest issue. The next gen update didn't help with matters, but even if they never updated Fallout 4, the biggest thing is still just getting it to people, because 30 to 40 gigabytes, that's huge. That's unimaginably huge. I think that's how big fucking how big was Red Dead Redemption 2? Red Dead 2 file size 120. Okay, I was off. I think I'm thinking. Oh no. Okay, so I was thinking Hitman Absolution, but that was I think 80 or 90 gigabytes. Red Dead was 120, but still, this 30 to 40 gigabytes isn't tiny by any standards. Mods that big aren't coming to console. They had the perfect chance to increase mod space with the update, and they didn't do it, so they're not going to. We might get more space in the future in future games, though. That I think is a stronger possibility. I think that the biggest, and this is just me just fucking popping off as, fucking random PNG tuber number 16,503,000. But I think the biggest obstacle that Bethesda had in increasing, mod space for Fallout 4, I don't know if they've ever increased mod space for Skyrim or Starfield. Starfield's newer, so I don't know if there's no mods for Starfield yet, so they don't. have any mod size to increase. But I think if I remember correctly, one of the biggest obstacles in that is specifically PlayStation, because they have a very tight knit like integration system. I remember that one of the major obstacles, like they originally wanted to make Fallout 4, or not Fallout 4, Fallout 76 a multi-platform game. They, from what I read, they didn't initially design the game to be multi-platform, but it was like one of their goals, you know, like a stretch goal or whatever. And I remember specifically that the big reason why they weren't able to make the game multi-platform, again, as a stretch goal, was because PlayStation was like, hey, you know, we're very protective of like our, you know, coding or, you know, some such or what. Basically, Sony's all like, no, we don't want to do that. And that's why we unfortunately don't have multi-platform in Fallout 76, which is a huge bummer because there's people who play on Xbox and PlayStation and PC, and it would be awesome to play together. My sister has it on Xbox, and even though Xbox and fucking PC are both owned by Microsoft, there's just no compatibility there. So it's like, bummer, I can't play with my sister. Don't take that out of context, you freaks. But like that's the whole point. Or maybe not the point, but like that's what I'm getting at. I don't think, I mean, again, this is just me theorizing here. I don't know if Sony is the reason why they can't increase mod size on Xbox. I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know. I don't have any other evidence or research to say one way or the other. But that's my little film theory there. But someone definitely clipped that. No, don't do it, you freaks. Of all the fucking things that I've said over the years, that's the thing that gets clipped. Maybe not the only thing, but you know, somebody said a little while back, I hate Fallout London releasing on GOG. I have to install yet another fucking launcher, which, yes, I definitely get. It's definitely frustrating to have. Like, I mean, you can see down here, I got 4 launchers. I got GOG. Oh, did it say 2? Ah, you piece of shit. I got GOG. I got Itch.io. I got Steam. I got Epic. Like, it's a lot. I definitely get it. It's starting to become like, it's like fucking, I don't know. It's starting to become a thing where it's like, I don't like that's kind of one of the things that kind of turned me off of playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because like it was on Epic, it was just on a different platform, and your brain kind of compartmentalizes where games are and sort of like ranks them in like, okay, so like for example, Steam, like that's where all my games are. Like, hell yeah, Steam, top rank, number 1. But then it's like, oh, then there's Epic Game Store, which is where I have the Hitman series, or the modern Hitman series. That's where I have Alan Wake 2. That's where I have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's also another place where I have oh balls, Fall Guys, and then like a couple of other things. That's where Alien Isolation is, which fuck, I got to get back in and finish that game. I never finished that game. But the point is like that ranks number 2. And then like I always just kind of like forget about GOG and Itch.io, because GOG is something that I have games on, but they're always like free games. There's, I don't think really anything on there that's like I bought specifically because I wanted to play it and it was only available on GOG. But then there's Itch.io, where there's just like so many unique and interesting and creative, like tiny games, like independent games, like that shotgun roulette game. I don't think I've really talked about this on stream, but there was Excuse Me, Sir, which we actually made a video about, or not a video specifically about this, but the Twitch streamer Molly Moon was working with a couple of other developers, and they were going to make this independent project. And it really fucking pissed me off because I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. Molly has a real unique style of horror with her TikTok videos and stuff. This is probably gonna be pretty sweet. And then like I didn't hear anything about it for like ever. And then the only way I actually knew that the game, or in this case demo, because she unfortunately pulled out of the project. The only way I knew that this game was even in development and was actually out in a playable way was because the Game Grumps played it, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna hold off on this so I can play it myself. And then I went back to check it out, and they're like, oh yeah, the project's been scrapped. So it's like I completely missed it originally coming out, and then at the same time completely missed that the project was like completely dropped, which is a bummer because you can see down here, you got Molly Moon, you got Arendorf Games that made the Faith Unholy Trinity game, and then Jesse Cox, the guy behind Monster House, and it's like there was so much promise behind this game, and it just like got dropped, and it's a real bummer. Go away. But the point of that is like I always forget that I have itch.io, despite the fact that there's such cool games on there, like like the ones I just mentioned, and like the fucking puppet combo games, and like all these other things. And it's like, man, there are just so many game streaming platforms these days. It's crazy. Let me close that. Actually, close it. There we go. Tried to download the South Park Fractured Butthole, and it forced me to download. That's another thing. The Ubisoft launcher. I fucking hate the Ubisoft launcher. Like, I'm really glad that fucking Assassin's Creed Valhalla was able to launch on on Epic, and I didn't have to download or fuck with the Ubisoft launcher, because I hate the Ubisoft launcher. Because again, it's just another. That's one of the things why I didn't really like the Bethesda launcher, because it's like, okay, I literally only have this so that I can play Fallout 76. I was so fucking happy when they brought it over to Steam. Then I found out I purchased the game under a different email, so I can't even play it. Oh, that's fucking stupid. Like, that's like, fuck. Again, I don't like it. So like to that other person who said like, it sucks I have to download GOG. I definitely get it. 100%. The only upside to GOG is that you can import other stuff into GOG Galaxy, like stuff from Steam, stuff from Epic, so that you can actually play it. I installed Diablo 4, went to play it on Xbox, and it required me to make a Blizzard account, so instead of that, I just uninstalled it. Yeah, real, especially Blizzard, like fucking Blizzard. I had a Blizzard account when back in the day when I played like Starfield 2 or StarCraft 2 and stuff like that, but like nah, these days it's like, nah, fuck that. Will there be a game today, or is it just talk? It'll be both. I got one other thing I want to talk about specifically, but we will be playing Starfield here pretty soon to get in and check out all the new updates and features and shit. Hold on, I gotta drink my gasoline. Oh, fuck it. Oh, it burns. It burns, but it gives me energy. Maybe. It could be I'm just fucking hydrating myself. That's one of the fucked up things about like soda and energy drinks, right? You're always thinking like, oh, drinking this is good for me because it's got like all this shit. Well, definitely not soda. Like if you're drinking soda and you think it's good for me, like no, you're just flat out wrong. But it's like, oh, energy drinks, it helps to give me energy and stuff. But then it's like, oh, it's got all this fucking like salt and shit in it. Like there's 206 milligrams of sodium in this drink alone. And it's like, fuck, I could just be drinking water and it would do the exact same thing for me. And it's like, well, soda and water is, it's got water. Is there like soda and energy drink? It's got water in it. Like, yeah. You know what else has water in it? Fucking water. Drink water, which I actually have with me right here. I got that as well. But the energy drink just fucking helps to pick me up a little bit because I'm so fucking lethargic and disturbingly lazy. But then the other there's probably like a couple of other things I'm missing here, but the other like really big thing that happened this week was the release of the Assassin's Creed Shadows trailer. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's like I never really know like what I can and cannot watch during a stream. I think I remember seeing Moist Critical. He was able to actually watch it on stream. I don't know if I'm gonna get like, oh fuck, excuse me. I don't know if I'm gonna get like DMCA striked or whatever, especially considering the fact that it's fucking Ubisoft. But the me personally, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. We were just talking about Valhalla there. I remember playing the first Assassin's Creed and then Assassin's Creed 2, the whole fucking Ezio trilogy. Chef's kiss. It was fucking amazing. And then Assassin's Creed 3 came out, and it was pretty good. I liked Assassin's Creed 3 for what it was, especially since it was just a big departure from the more like city focused, and you were able to go out and do a lot of that shit like in like the woods and stuff, you know, running up trees, climbing fucking rocks and cliffs and shit. That was awesome. That was cool. Story was kind of a little bit all over the place, but I liked it. And then like, you know, we go from there, we go into Black Flag, which like fucking peak, like there's always going to be an argument for like which Assassin's Creed game is better, but like it's definitely really hard to argue that Assassin's Creed Black Flag was not, if not is the best Assassin's Creed game. The game that preceded it, the kind of like 2.5 game, Assassin's Creed Rogue, that was pretty fucking good. I fucks with that. But like Black Flag was just peak. And then, you know, there's Unity, all the stuff that happened with that, the awful state that it released in. And then fuck, what was after Unity? I think it was the oh god, what was the one that was set in London? Fuck, I can't remember now. Syndicate, that was it. Syndicate, and then Origins, and then Odyssey, and Valhalla, and on like that. I really liked Origins. Me personally, I'm a huge sucker for ancient Egypt. So that game was like fucking tailor made for me. But we get to Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is if I remember correctly, it was the second of like 3 major Assassin's Creed. Actually, no. At the time, if I'm remembering correctly, it was either the second or third of 4 major Assassin's Creed products that were, or games that were in development and set to be released. The first one was Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is out right now, and you know people can buy it and you know play it and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure how big or how well the game did. I saw a video the other day that showcased a cutscene, and the lip syncing was not really good, which, you know, that could just be an isolated incident. But the point is, Assassin's Creed was, or Mirage was the first of like 4 different games that were slated to be released. The other was Assassin's Creed Project Red, which we now know is Assassin's Creed Shadows. And then there was Assassin's Creed Jade, or Project Jade, which was, I don't know if it is Jade or if it's Project Jade, but that one was like a mobile game. And then the 4th one, which has yet to be released but has been talked about, was Assassin's Creed Hex, which, if I'm remembering correctly, is set in I don't remember the time period specifically, but it's set in Germany, and it's like old, like medieval Germany, and like a big focus is on like witches and like more mysticism, and it's supposed to be a more like horror focused Assassin's Creed game, which I'm a big fan of. That sounds fucking amazing. I always love it when long-standing IPs like this explore different genres and stuff. But more than anything else, everybody was fucking awesome. Like everybody was so fucking hype for Assassin's Creed. I'm just going to say Assassin's Creed Shadows, because it was Project Red, but now we know it's Shadows. Everybody was hyped for it because we knew we were going to feudal Japan. And like ever since like fucking Assassin's Creed 1 dropped and, you know, got a whole lot of attention, everybody's like, we need to fucking go to Japan. Japan, like it's perfect. It's a perfect setting for an Assassin's Creed game. They're fucking ninjas and shit. That's what an assassin is. He's a ninja. Hide in plain sight, fucking, you know, all this, like, ninjas, let's fucking go. Everybody was so fucking hyped for it. And then we got the trailer. I was about to say November 12th rolled around. We got the trailer. Like, no, that's the release date, November 12th. We got the trailer last week, and it was like it. I don't know contextually how big its release was compared to like Valhalla and a lot of the newer modern Assassin's Creed games, but it exploded. It got a huge amount of attention, and unfortunately, not all of that was the greatest of attention. Just based on this page here, you can kind of probably start to sniff out some of the reason as to why it kind of got, because like it got a lot of backlash to say the least. If you have any sort of extension or plugin that allows you to see the like to dislike ratio on YouTube, it's not great. It's kind of like a really bad ratio. You basically got like the like a red lightsaber. You get the green, that's the handle, and it's just a really long red line. The reason for that, as you can probably see on here, is because there's going to be two main characters in Assassin's Creed, fucking in Assassin's Creed Shadows. The main character, our protagonist here, a shinobi by the name of Naue, who is a native Japanese woman, and Yasuke, who is he's not an expat, but he is the first actual like real historical figure that we actually play as in an assassin. I just realized I'm fucking completely masking out fucking there's Naue. Let me like, there she is, fucking ninja. I'm gonna see if I can find a better image to go off, because I'm on the wrong side here. This one, I just want like the picture itself. Open image in a new tab. Sure. Fucking whatever. Anyway, point is, we have Naue on the one hand as our main protagonist, our central protagonist, a native Japanese woman, and then as our secondary protagonist, there's an actual word for it. I can never remember what it is though. Our secondary protagonist, very similar to Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where you play as two different characters. You have the real life historical character of Yasuke, who is the first in. It's the ongoing debate right now whether or not he was the actual first black Japanese samurai, or whether he was just a retainer for the shogun at the time, Oda Nobunaga. There's a lot of historians that say, he was the first black samurai, because there's arguments that the specific rank that he had, which was, oh gosh, I can't remember. There's like bushi and then some other word that I can't remember. But the point is, there's a lot of people that say that while not specifically named as a samurai, he was basically in the same like ranking as a samurai. So there's a big part of it is like there's not really good recorded history of Yasuke. We just know like who he was. He was a slave. He was brought to Japan by the Portuguese, and then he Nobunaga took an interest in him, and he eventually became one thing that a lot of people can agree on is he became what's known as a retainer, which can be interpreted as him being, basically like a golf caddy for the shogun, to being a bodyguard, to being an actual samurai who served in some sort of military capacity. Again, we don't, like, there's not a whole lot of recorded information about him, but what we know and what we know about the time period and the structural makeup of the culture and stuff, there is enough reason to believe that he was in some sort of capacity, either like, again, there's just a lot of debate on the historical specifics of who he was, but it's generally agreed that he was an actual, higher up individual in relation to Oda Nobunaga. Samurai are retainers. Actual Japanese historians already cleared this up. Yes, that is, so like that's the big thing. a lot of people, especially historians and stuff specifically, are saying like he was a retainer, but then there's like just enough wiggle room for other people to be all like, actually, so like it doesn't really matter where so much you fall on like that whole argument, because the historical accuracy of Assassin's Creed games haven't really kind of been the whole point. There's like these are video games. 2, they're sci-fi video games, and 3, they're historically accurate to the point where like the locations that they're in and the events that happen around them, around the story, are historically accurate to an extent. I'm definitely not out here trying to say that, the Pope actually was fist fighting a fucking assassin using fucking space magic and shit. But, a lot of the events and locations are actually real world locations and happenings that happened. But again, one of the big, because the historical accuracy is a talking point that comes up, but the big reason that a lot of people got all like hyped and up in arms about it is because of the fact that Yasuke is a black man, and so there's a lot of people saying like, oh, this is forced diversity, this is being historically inaccurate with who Yasuke was, which again, this is a sci-fi video game series, which I guess at this point it's not really so much sci-fi anymore. It's more, there's like an actual term for it. It's a historical fiction. It's not real. None of this stuff actually happened. Some of the stuff that's talked about in the games actually happened, but the story itself, like nah, this shit didn't fucking happen. Fucking in Assassin's Creed Rogue, the fucking, what was it? There was some big earthquake that happened in Assassin's Creed Rogue, and the stories are like, oh, it was caused by an ancient alien artifact fucking going off, and like that's what caused the earthquake. And it's like, no, that's not what caused the earthquake. They're just being, goofy with the story and making an interesting story. And when it comes to Yasuke specifically, a big reason that they say why they went with Yasuke is because, well, one, he's an incredibly unique historical figure, the first black samurai, whether or not you again, samurai, oh, was he? No, it's completely not the point. The point is he was the first person in Japan to rise to that rank who was not of, a native Japanese person. But from a thematical standpoint, the reason they went with him is because Yasuke is not a native Japanese person. He came into the culture, is integrating into the culture, and the creative director even said, like, we chose Yasuke because he's such a fascinating character, and you as the player are discovering Japan just as he is discovering Japan, because he was brought over as a slave and integrated into the culture. And it counters, or maybe not counters, but it foils, it works in tandem. I guess foiled isn't the correct terminology, but it works in tandem with Naoe, who is a native Japanese character. And so it's one of those things where like one person is not from the culture, the other person is from the culture, and so there's a bit of dynamism there. But again, it all boils down to like it's fuck. I never really like saying that people are just being like racist and sexist, because I always try to come at these arguments from like a good faith and try to see that like from their perspective. But there are just so many people that are just like outwardly racist of the fact that the first game, like one of the big talking points that I see is like, oh, it's the first Assassin's Creed game set in Japan and you're not playing as a Japanese person. And then it's like, well, Naoe's Japanese. And they're like, no, it's a Japanese male. And it's like, well, why the fuck does that matter? Because, like, again, these games aren't historically accurate. They're historically accurate to a point, but it's not a one-to-one comparison. So there's all these people who are saying it's a spectrum. It's going from the extreme of people who are just outwardly racist and sexist, which I've seen them. There's this one guy I saw on Twitter who will like they were like, oh fucking, we want to play as a Japanese person, and somebody else is like, she's right there, right in front of Yasuke. She's right there. It's a Japanese person, and then they're all like, with fucking this image, she's like, she's right there, Japanese person, and they're all like, okay, cool. Now get rid of that thing behind her, referring to fucking Yasuke, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, like they're just people who are just like outwardly disgusting about it. And then there's the like closer to the spectrum where it's like, oh, they're talking about like, oh, we care about like historical accuracy, which to me feels very thinly veiled. There's this one guy on Twitter, I think his name is Grums. He used to be, I think he was like an ex-WoW developer or something like that. He comes up a lot in the sort of like anti-woke, anti-DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion conversation, as being like a big figure in that space. And he's like fucking going on like, oh, it's not like historically accurate and stuff. It's forced diversity. And it's like, dude, fucking none of these games are historically accurate. Fucking in Assassin's Creed Unity, there's like a sequence in the game where the fucking main character, this French guy during the revolution, fucking jumps through like a time portal or whatever and sees the fucking blitzkrieg happening in Paris where the Nazis are invading, and they're all like, there's like blimps around the fucking Eiffel Tower and shit. So it's like these aren't historically accurate games. They even says it at the start of every single Assassin's Creed game since the first, like, this is a work of fiction based on historical, events and stuff. It's not real. It's fiction. We got a diverse cast and, work crew and everything like that. And it's like, it's so weird. It's only this game that people started pitching a whole fit about because it's a black guy in Japan. There wasn't a real big stink about fucking was it? There wasn't a big problem with Black Flag. There wasn't a big problem with Freedom Cry. There wasn't a problem with Liberty. Those last two games you actually play as a black person. I believe Freedom Cry took place in. It's very similar to the same region that Black Flag took place in. But then Liberty took place in where was it? What was it? Louisiana, that's it, like New Orleans and stuff. There wasn't a big big uproar about, where was it? What was the Ascension? What was the third game in the Ezio trilogy? I can't remember, but the point is there's so many historically inaccurate featurettes, and there are so many like diverse casting. We play as a Chinese woman in Chronicles, which was like 3 different games. We play as an Indian person in India. We play as a Russian. We play as like this, that, and the other thing. And it's only ever a problem when we're in Japan, which has a long-standing history of being racially what is it? What's the term? It like starts with an M. Basically, like the majority of their country is Japanese. It's not like America where there's like, people from Mexico, people from Japan, China. It's not a melting pot. It's a very homogenous. Is that it? I think it is homogenous. Like Japan is a very homogenous country. It's like 98, 99% just Japanese people. And then it's like like it's just so fucking wild. They're all like, oh, out of all of Japanese history, you picked the one black guy. And it's like, yes, because he's a very unique and interesting character in Japanese history and Japanese culture. And the fucking Japanese media and American media have glazed him like for decades at this point, especially the Japanese people. Like Japanese made games and stuff, they're just like, fucking Black Samurai, let's fucking go. But then the first time it's like Assassin's Creed and they go to Japan and they do the exact same thing that Japan has been doing for decades, then it becomes a problem. I don't consider a lot of these arguments to be serious in a lot of cases. And then you have like big content creators kind of getting involved with it. one of the big things that a lot of people have been talking about and sort of like, watching on the sidelines is there's this one Twitch streamer, Osmond Gold, who gave a reaction to it. And, is his reaction specifically, admittedly, is a little bit more tamed than a lot of other people, probably because he's, one, he's not a complete and total idiot, but also two, he's a content creator. He kind of has to mitigate his argument a little bit. So, but like even then, he's still saying some like really, really sus shit. So like one of the things he said is that maybe Ubisoft did this intentionally, knowing that it would stir up a lot of controversy and stuff, which like seems like a bad faith argument to make, because fucking video game developers are big companies and stuff, and they always have profit incentive and stuff, but you're just kind of assuming that they're fucking, I don't know. It's the same sort of conversation that a lot of people make when talking about Bethesda. Like they're intentionally being, problematic or malicious in another sense, in order to, increase their profit margins, which a lot of companies do. But it seems like a bad faith argument. But then like another thing he said in like the basic sense is like, oh, fucking, it takes me out of the realism and the escapism when you have like this fucking tiny Japanese woman taking on all these like big soldier guys. Like he even said like, he even drawed it back to like biology and like biologically, like it doesn't make sense and shit like that. And it's like it's so dumb, because like I've seen other content creators bring up the point too. Like if somebody, like biology be damned, if somebody is trained and skilled to whoop ass, it doesn't matter whether they're a man or a woman, they're gonna whoop ass. And even in the trailer, we see fucking Naue at the beginning of the trailer try to, take on several, larger, more well-equipped soldiers, and she gets her fucking ass beat. But then later on in the trailer, once she's gone through all the Assassin's training shit and is using, stealth tactics, proper dodging and evading and shit, she is able to find some success in fighting opponents that are much larger than her. And that's been a ongoing theme throughout the entire Assassin's Creed franchise. The entire point of a lot of the first few games is to not get into these big skirmishes and to like, parry and dodge, not just kill people like outright with, brute force. That's the entire point of being an assassin. You're supposed to be stealthy. You're supposed to take people out without noticing. And that's what Naue is doing. They have Yasuke as the samurai, the much bigger, more physically imposing and direct combat kind of guy, it's sort of the same thing they did in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where they had two different characters and they both served sort of the similar role that Yasuke and Naue fill, where one is more of a direct combatant, the other is more of a stealthy combatant. But it's taken to the nth degree, because they're taking a lot of the like Yasuke is more similar to like Bayek or it's Cassandra, and then I forget what the male counterpart is in Odyssey, or even wow, now I'm completely forgetting what the main character of Eivor, like Eivor from Valhalla. Eivor is a much more physically direct combatant. He's not even really an assassin. He's an assassin by like name only. And he's a much more physically imposing direct combat sort of character. And that's the role that Yasuke fills. Naue, on the other hand, fills a role similar to like Altair, or I guess kind of Ezio, or what's the guy from Unity? Arno, where they are more like stealth and surprise focused. They're less direct combat and more, fucking assassin skill. And that's the role that each play. And it's just really weird seeing these people make all these arguments, like specifically on Noway side, like, oh, it doesn't make sense. A woman can't take down a man. That's against biology and shit like that. There's just so many fucking cringe comments and arguments around Assassin's Creed specifically, Shadows specifically. And it's like it's so fucking stupid. But as far as like pre-orders and stuff, I actually saw this earlier today. Pre-orders, it's apparently one of like the number one pre-order in Japan right now is Assassin's Creed Shadows, and like the number 3 is like one of the bigger bundles and stuff, which like the bundles, fucking look at this shit. This is the thing that everybody should be talking about, not, oh, can a woman, beat up a man, or can a fucking, like, is the Black Samurai historically accurate? It's the fucking prices. You can't see it behind me, but like that's, I don't know what this is. $17 a month, this fucking Ultimate Edition, and then it's like, what is it, $17 a month until you pay off the fucking $129 you need for the Ultimate Edition? Is this like, is that rent? Is this your rent right now? Is it a subscription? What the fuck is this? But like, not enough people, everybody's, maybe not everybody, but too many people are focused on Black Samurai and woman, and not enough people are focused on the fact that this game is fucking $70 at base, $130 for the Ultimate Edition. Like, it's outrageous. It's so fucking stupid. There's so many people focusing on the dumb talking points and not enough people focusing on like the big important talking point. One of the things that people were also pointing out, like right after the game was announced, that it needed to be online all the time in order to play it, which they came out like real quickly after to clarify, like, no, you don't need to be online the entire time to play the game, just for like, the day one update, or the day one download or whatever, like that quick, the download process, which definitely eased a lot of people's concerns about the game. But there's still so many stupid conversations about, Yasuke and Naoe, and it's so dumb. It's completely just disconnected from the actual real things that people need to be concerned about, such as pricing and, like online only stuff. Online only sucks. Online only does suck, and I'm not a big fan of it. But thankfully, that doesn't seem to be the situation with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's see. A German ancestry, apparently. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Assassin's Creed Hex. I think that's going to be real interesting. Like I said, there's a lot of I always love it when a game sort of deviates or experiments with different tones, different settings and stuff. He has expressed before that if Shadows turns out to be bad or a good game, it's going to have nothing to do with, can't spell the samurai's name, Yasuke. Yeah. Like all of this like pre-launch stuff, all the stuff around Yasuke and Naoe specifically, it's just continuing to feed into that pointless fucking what is it? God, what is it? It's that whole anti-woke fucking DEI inclusivity stuff. It's all just part of this stupid ongoing culture war bullshit that does nothing but like virtue signal and, try to give people an opportunity to say that they don't like X part of a game or, Y part of a game because of this reason. But like, it all just boils down to not having a white male protagonist as the lead, which is like, it's so fucking stupid, and not enough people are focusing on, like, again, the important stuff. But after release and stuff, I feel pretty confident that Shadows is going to be one of, if not the best performing modern Assassin's Creed game. And I say modern just because, like, again, I don't fucking know if anything's going to be able to beat Assassin's Creed Black Flag, because like Black Flag was just peak. That shit was perfect. You're hinting at an Assassin's Creed set in Germany because that sounds sick. Yeah, you didn't know about this? Look at this. Assassin's Creed Hex. Assassin's Creed codename Hex, and this isn't everything we know, but the I don't like that one. I don't like the ones that have fucking bright white backgrounds. This is the wiki, so take it with a grain of salt. But the entire shtick. This is I really like the image that they got on this one. The box cover, as it were. But from what we know, codename Hex is set in, I think, 18th century. Does it actually say on here? Oops, no, not that one. No, it doesn't. Not really. But from what I remember, it's set in 18th century Germany, and it involves a lot of the occult mysticism, like witches and stuff that they that were going around in the country at that time. And I don't remember a lot of details about who specifically you play in the game. Again, we know like almost nothing about the game besides like rumors and shit. But one of the more concrete things that we can kind of, hang our hat on is that the game is going to be a lot more like it's going to be a lot darker in tone. It might even have like a horror focus. And it looks, again, we have like almost nothing about it, but it looks and sounds like a really, really cool and really interesting concept. And me personally, I'm a big horror fan. So like I'm way into it. I'm really excited to see what they do with this, especially in the sort of gameplay loop that Assassin's Creed has. Is like it just is. It's a very combat focused game, and I'm really interested to see how they translate an Assassin's Creed game into a horror game. I don't think visually a lot is going to change. I don't think it's going to be like a whole first person experience. But I do think that it's going to be interesting to see the Assassin's Creed series from that lens, from a darker tone and a more, horror focus, as it were. I think Osmond Gold mentioned that aside from when he briefly talked about Yasuke, he doesn't care about the conversation, and that it's only because of annoying people he'll talk about Yasuke. Yeah, that was one of the things that I kind of have been noticing with a lot of the clips around him. And the whole Assassin's Creed thing. He doesn't really talk about Yasuke a whole lot. I think a lot of people have just sort of clipped his stuff where he talks about Nawe and how like biologically it's not very realistic for a woman to be able to beat a man in combat, which it could be taken out of context. I don't know, but even in context, that doesn't seem like that's definitely not right. Fucking. I fucking like a 5'4". I'm 6'4". I'm 200 pounds, admittedly. Not all of it is muscle. In fact, very little of it is muscle. But like if a 5'4" woman came up to me and she's like, I'm a fucking, black belt in judo or whatever, and I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I'd be fucking on my knees like, please don't beat the shit out of me, man. I don't know how to fucking fight. I don't want to get my ass kicked, man. Like if somebody is trained to fight, like actually trained to fight, not just like a fucking street brawler or whatever, but actually like trained to beat ass. It doesn't matter how big, how tall, what gender they are. They're gonna beat ass. And the only difference that it's going to make is if the person they're fighting is also trained in some sort of sense, So like if like a 5'4" judo expert woman went up against like somebody like Mike Tyson, yeah, she's probably gonna get the shit kicked out of her because Mike Tyson is a trained fighter. If she went up against, just some fucking jag-off on the street, he might get a couple of good throws in there. But, like, in the end, she's going to fucking break his arm or some shit. Grifter's going to grift. Being big mad about nothing is big business. Literally, rage bait is a business. Whipping idiots into a froth is a big part of YouTube's business. Not to mention the YouTubers themselves. Yeah, like, you go on YouTube and just type in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and there's so much shit from on like both sides. People calling out the people who are being just like outwardly racist and sexist and shit like that, and a lot of videos just being fucking outwardly racist and sexist, and a lot leaning into the more like, oh, it's not historically accurate, blah 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 blah, which I think has a little bit more merit to it. But again, it's one of the, again, we've talked about it. It doesn't really matter because these games aren't historically accurate in the first place, so it's a nothing talking point. Do you listen to classical music? Not really, but I do like a good soft piano every once in a while. All right. Some bitch. My gasoline. All right. We've been talking about this for a very long time, longer than I intended to talk about it. Let's jump into Starfield, because another big thing that happened this week, which I think it happened on the 15th? Yeah, I think it was the 15th. Starfield got a big update. It added a bunch of new stuff. One of the a couple of the big things that they really focused on in the trailer that they put out on the first was the new maps, and then they also focused on a lot of the new settings stuff that they added. So it's basically like more like buttons and switches to basically make the regular game into what is it? What is it? What is it? Into more of like a survival mode thing. So there's like settings to mess with carry weight. There's settings to mess with like damage resistance. And it adds to, like, there's a trade-off too. So like, I think the harder you make the game, the more experience you get out of it. So it could be one of, because like I remember that was one of the like strats to Fallout 4, like I guess any Fallout really, like you're playing it and then like you're about to kill somebody and then you like pause the game and switch to like very hard mode and then kill them because they're at like 1 HP or whatever, and then you get a lot more experience and then you just switch back to the the easier mode. I could very well see that. I mean, that just seems like it's going to be a continuing strat, like regardless, but it's going to be interesting because I kind of want to go in and just mess with this and just like make the game harder in general, because where I'm at specifically, it just seems like most enemies are super easy to kill. So it could be one of those things that could be interesting to get in and tinker with. Let me real quickly, because I forgot to turn that on. There we go. Let me switch to the right screen here. We're in blackness for a second. There is definitely the suspension of disbelief with AC games. Yeah, like you have to, suspend a lot of belief. Again, we talked about it. It's a fucking historical sci-fi game. It's not 100% accurate. I'm downloading this game. Is it good? Because I used to watch a guy called Starfield is Life, hated it. I don't 100%. I'll give it bad reviews. Most I've heard is boring. Michael Does Life is his name. Oh, okay. It's definitely one of those games where like it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. So like one of the weird things that I noticed is like right off rip, a lot of people were comparing it to Starfield, which seemed very strange because, or not Starfield. A lot of people were comparing it to Skyrim, which seemed really weird because not every, like they're two very different games when you get to the like story level and like the tone they're trying to set. So Starfield is a very like exploration focused game, while the story itself is not primarily 100% story focused. A lot of what you actually do in the game is more so story focused. It's still an RPG game, so there's skill point elements, there's weapons, this, that, and the other thing. But at its core, it is a game about going around and just exploring. A lot of the planets and moons and stuff that you visit are, barren planets. It's like all just like rock and like empty space and shit like that. But it's supposed to be that way. At least that's what Bethesda's getting at here. Because it's supposed to be more of a semi-accurate simulation of what space traversal is like. You look at other games like No Man's Sky or Mass Effect and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, it's still like a space game, but it's not as realistic as a lot of other games because it's going in a more sci-fi direction. Starfield is still a science fiction game, but it's more of a science fiction realism as to those other games, which are more in my terminology, in my view, more like high fantasy sci-fi. Right? There's more suspension of disbelief. There's a bigger focus on like aliens and foreign fauna and stuff, and that definitely is an element here, but it's also taking into account the realism of just how vast and how like actually empty space is. So if that's not really your cup of tea, if you don't want to if you're going into this game expecting this like grand high octane story or something like Skyrim, where it's all like this big overarching, like you're supposed to be like a legend or something like that, it's not gonna be the game for you. But if you're one of those people who's just like, oh, I want to get in, I want to like explore, look around, stuff like that, and you can really fall into that exploration kind of game and kind of like take the game slow at like a pace, you're probably going to enjoy it, because that's one of the things that I've been seeing with Starfield itself. Because like one of the things that a lot of people were like losing their minds over is that like, oh, there's so many loading screens, like every like 5 seconds is a loading screen, it's a loading screen to get on your ship, it's a loading screen to get on to go to this place, to get to that place, to get to that place, and then it's like, oh, you can just like a loading screen from like here to there, and it's like, well, yes, you can do that. That is an option that the game presents itself. But if you just like walk or manually travel from place to place, yes, the loading screens are still there, but it's not like every 30 seconds there's a loading screen. It feels to me anyway, one of those games where like if you take it at a pace, if you go steady with it, it's a game where you can very much decide how quick or how slow the game, like you set the game speed. So, like, you can just fast travel from planet to planet, but then you can also, fast, like, I could go from, like, here, walk all the way over to the starport, and, get on my ship, and then fly into orbit, and then fly out of the galaxy, and then fly to a next planet, land on the planet, etc., etc., etc. It's a game where you set the pace of the game, and some people just go really fast, and as a result, they just see a lot more of the loading screens because they're taking the game so much faster. But when you slow down and like take it, one step at a time, me personally, I find a lot more enjoyment out of it. I'm not one to just like fly through games. I like taking my time with it. Let me see here, because there was some conversation while I was fucking going off on a tangent. Let's see. Haven't heard anything about the story or anything though. So like the main quest, like the story of Starfield is like, it's okay. It's not super amazing. It's not going to be this legendary thing like the Ezio trilogy or, fucking like Metal Gear Solid or Skyrim or anything. Like it's not going to be like that. It's decent, but it's not like the same caliber of games that a lot of typical gamers expect. It's one of those things where it's like the main quest is sort of like smaller and more like straightforward and simplistic, but that kind of leaves room for all of this other stuff to go on in the game's world. There's so many side quests. I haven't even really given enough time and attention to playing other side quests and other missions and stuff, because like one of the big things in the game is just like running through and getting to like New Game Plus fucking like 11 or 12 or whatever, so that you unlock all this extra shit. But there are so many like side stories and extra content and things to do and places to go and fucking aliens to find and new plants to discover and like all this extra shit. There's other factions and stuff, and there's all this extra shit that's separate from the main quest that the main quest doesn't even really talk about because it's kind of off telling its own story. And it's just really interesting to me anyway. It's really interesting the way they made this game because it almost feels like the main quest is sort of like its own thing, and then all of the rest of the game is also its own thing. I messed with it a bit, but I'm waiting for mods, really, Xbox mods. I spoke to the dev of Cheat Terminal for Fallout 4, and they're definitely making one for Starfield. Awesome. That's amazing. But yeah, I think they're coming out with they're most likely dropping mod support because they talked about that in this in the May update video. Mod support is most likely going to drop along with the first DLC, Shattered Space, which doesn't have a release date yet, and we've seen like very little details about it. But like that's going to be the first DLC, and me personally, I think it's going to coincide with its release. I probably find it really boring because it's not a world I'm interested in exploring. Much prefer the Fallout world. Yeah, again, it's not a game that's going to be for everyone. It's definitely an acquired taste. But if you can, like, if it's ever like free or at like a deep discount or anything, or you just have the opportunity to play it, I would definitely give it a chance because it's a really interesting experience. But again, don't go into it expecting it to be anything like Fallout or Skyrim because it's not. It's kind of supposed to be a different kind of beast in general. You sound like a real enthusiast. I don't think I'm a real super like into Starfield. I just kind of really get what Starfield's going for, and I'm good at I'm sort of good at explaining what it's going for, or what it's aiming to, what it's trying to be. See, I said the same thing 3 different ways because I'm bad at explaining shit. If you reload to the Unity once you go through and get back to your Starborn ship, you can respec your traits. Yes, that is one of the new things. So one of the things, like a big part of the game, as I said, is just going through New Game Plus a whole lot. And when you're doing that, you don't what is it? You don't have the ability to like respec or like change some of your stuff. But with the new update, you now can. You can recreate how your character looks. You can change their traits and stuff. So you said that you can respec. I don't know if you can like respec your skills and stuff like that. Or like have the option to. I just know that you can like choose new traits and like change the way your character looks and stuff. Does this game say where to go? Yes, the game will actually tell you where to go as far as like the main quest. And then you'll pick up like Radiant quests and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if like I think I heard like one character say like don't go to the well or something, which is like a location in New Atlantis, which is the main city we're in right now. And you'll just get like Radiant characters like that that just like say stuff, and it's like, and it'll give you like a quest. They're like, oh, okay, I'll go do this. How are all you guys doing? Just standing around, being weird? Okay. There's a lot of people here. I don't remember this area being so heavily trafficked. What are they all just fucking standing around for? You guys are being weird. Fucking go. Okay, weird. Also, the crowd system is pretty cool. This main city here, New Atlantis, it's pretty densely populated. Go to the spaceport here real quick. I wonder if the undroppable quest item after quest is done bug will ever be fixed for Fallout 4. I'm not 100% sure. I hope it does. I've never heard someone talk so much without breathing. Oh, I'm breathing. I'm just not doing it very well. Good set of lungs. You say that, it doesn't always feel that way though. Gate needs crafting, weapon and armor crafting, ammo crafting. It does have that. You can, I think, if I remember correctly, I know it has like weapon and armor modification. I don't remember if you can actually like straight up build weapon and armor crafting, which I guess it technically is kind of a step backwards compared to like Fallout 4, for example. The hell is going on with your head? Oh, there we go. She had a hat on, and the texture just hadn't loaded in all the way. But yeah, like it is there, but it's not like it's definitely not as expansive. Perks of being a follower, damn straight. Toshi missed his calling as an auctioneer, bro. Real. Fucking, that's the thing. Like, I can talk real good and shit like that. That was actually one of the comments I got one time. Is like, you talk good. I'm like, hell yeah. But when I try to talk fast and shit like that, it just, I end up fucking fumbling over my words. Does it give you destinations? I need guidance. Yes, there's like there's markers and stuff like that, and it'll tell you like which way to go and stuff like that. It's not one of those games where it's just like, it's not like Elden Ring where you like pick up a quest and then like it doesn't really tell you that you've picked up a quest or like show you where to go. You just gotta kind of like defer to your own like memory and you know, processing, like, okay, like problem solving. It like, that's probably the biggest issue I have with Elden Ring specifically, because it's very bad at telling you, like, I don't understand why there's not just like a quest booklet, right? Because there are quests in Elden Ring, but there's no real way of tracking that or like knowing where you're supposed to go, and it's, I don't know, it's just really weird to me. I'm not a big fan of it. Can I do it? No, I can't do it. Okay, so what I want to do for this playthrough, or at least in this specific instance, is where is it? Whoops. No, I'm not doing that. Use of certain console commands will disable achievements. Okay, it better not be fucking all of them. So I'm fucking, which one am I at here? Go here, summer spacesuit. Avitus. Avitus. I absolutely butchered that. I don't know which run that is, like which New Game Plus that is. If somebody can like look that up real quick and just tell me like how far from the end here I am, because I think I have like 1 or 2 more trips to go through the Unity before I have the hunter outfit. But one of the things that I've been doing is every time you go through the Unity, which is the end game stage for anybody who's watching and hasn't gotten to spoiler alerts for a fucking 8-month-old game at this point. But at the end of the main quest, you go through this thing called the Unity, and you basically enter into like a new like multiverse. Multiverse plays a big part in this game and shit like that. But you go into the new universe, and you're in New Game Plus, and you have all your same skills and stuff. You start at the beginning of the game, and you have a new set of armor. This Starborn armor that I'm wearing right now. It's not this one specifically all the time, but you have a you know, a better armor. You have one more Unity to go. Ah, sick. So like you go through that, and then you're in a universe and yada 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 yada. The point is though, I forgot the point. Shit. Damn it, it's gone. Well, anyway. Oh, well, no, yeah. While you're doing that, when you go into each new universe, you have new temples to go through. So you go and you discover new temples, and you get higher levels in all your fucking goofy space magic here. You got gravity wave. Was it? Yeah, you have gravity wave, and you can like push people back, fucking Jedi style. There's like a laser beam thing, stealth thing. It's basically like your dragon shouts from fucking Skyrim, right? Which, me personally, I'm not the biggest. I don't really like the power system. It's kind of dumb and not real creative and original. It is what it is, and they could always, you know, like build off of it, and, you know, like change it up, do new things with it and stuff. Me personally, I'm not a big fan. I don't really use it a whole lot. There's actually a mod on the Nexus that allows gravity wave to have a much stronger impact, so that when you use it, you actually like send people flying, which is really fucking funny. And that's like the only thing I like about the power system. Everything else is just kind of like meh, whatever. But that specifically is fun. But what I've been doing is I've just been running through, trying to get all the powers unlocked, which I think is still going to take a little bit. And then just getting to that final end game plus whatever, where I have like the best armor, which from what I've just been told here in the chat, I'm just one away. So I think for this stream, instead of, because like, again, what I do is I just go through and just get all the powers and stuff. And I think I just entered, use I to locate temples. Yeah, I just entered this universe, so I haven't done fucking anything with it. So what I think we'll do is we'll just go for the end game run. I think I actually entered a new universe where all the members of Constellation, the main faction, are dead. So I'll just run through the end game process here, and then we'll enter a new thing, and then we'll see how the new going through the Unity thing is, speccing traits, character build, all that shit. We'll see how that is. And then, because it was mentioned here, we'll check out the stats real quick. So let's go to the settings. And so, okay, so this was all original. I think the biggest things is in display and then gameplay options. Oh, no, never mind. That was, I think the monitor thing was a big one. The scale, I don't remember specifically, but I think the display options was all there before. The biggest thing is the gameplay options. Okay, let's see here. Enemy combat damage. Enemy combat damage. Scale combat lethality to adjust how much damage enemies deal. In ground combat, enemies deal little damage. Enemies deal significant damage. Okay. And then, okay, game is up. Now I can watch. Yeah. So that's enemy combat. That's how much damage we do, or they do to us. And then player combat damage is how much damage we do to them. So if I were to crank this up to high, no, okay. To adjust how much damage you deal to enemies in ground combat. Okay, so that's plus 6 XP. And then if I do this, that's also plus 6 XP. Interesting. So I could technically adjust it so I do more damage to everything, and I get 12% extra XP. That's interesting. And then weighted ammo is plus 4 XP. Okay, interesting. But then I can turn it up so that other ships do more damage to me. I think that kind of actually comes out in the wash, because if I set everything to extreme, then we're basically dealing damage on effectively the same level. The only difference is, in theory anyway, damage for damage is just going to go by quicker, I think. I don't know. That's interesting. I might leave that as it is, because I don't know. That seems like it's going to come out as a wash. Because both of these are basically saying like, oh, the other person, like each person fighting isn't going to is dealing more damage to them. So I think it just more so depends on how much health I have compared to them. Interesting. I don't know. And then ammo weight, which is pretty straightforward. Carrying capacity. Okay, so so that's plus 4. That's reduced. Okay, so the carrying capacity thing is what actually decreases. Okay, so yeah, this so that's healing. Oh, sure. Oh, okay, I see. All right, gotcha. All right, so these are the actual stats that will actually decrease experience if you go down. So let me take a look here. Why am I instantly able to tell your PFP was taken in Fallout 4? Because it is. Yeah, you can tell that's the Boston background. Probably with a, I don't know, maybe a, fuck, what is it? Maybe with an EMB? I don't know, but yeah. Fallout 4, let's go! I've fucking been streaming for an hour and a half. I still have like a third of this Rockstar to go, and I have fucking peanuts and Cheez-Its here that I was gonna fucking nosh on at the same time. All right, so ammo weight and stuff. Weighted ammo adds 4 XP. Carrying capacity. Said how much your followers can carry. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, so how much you and your followers can carry. Okay, so that's greatly increased. So if I change that to reduced, I have a +4. Let me see what that looks like in a before and after. So, where is it? Yeah, here. Okay, so, and like, to be fair, I'm fucking like level 84, and while I'm not, I probably don't have the fucking best specs here. I got a pretty decent shindig going on. So, I have a total of 255 carry weight. And if I go into the settings here and then change my carry weight to reduced, what does that give me? Okay, movement doesn't seem to be affected. That only takes off 50 carry weight? That's not completely horrible. Granted, I'm carrying, like, fucking nothing. I would imagine if I did weighted ammo and then had, like any sort of, like, proper weapon build out, that'd probably be a bit more of a an issue. But, like, that's not too bad. 50 less carrying capacity in exchange for plus 4% experience. That's pretty decent. That's not bad. Okay. Cargo access distance. Sets the distance at which you can access your ship's cargo from the inventory menu. Ooh. Okay. So, let's put that into respect. Oh, yes. We also got to take a look at the map here. So, we are on Jemison, which is the, I guess technically technically, if we want to get super technical about it, it is the first planet that you visit in the game, because actually the first celestial body that you're on in Starfield is actually a moon, so it's not technically a planet. So Jemison is the first planet that you actually land on. The game starts you on a moon, not a planet. At least story-wise, Jemison is the first actual planet that you visit. It's sort of the capital planet of the settled systems. It's where I think it was one of the first settled planets in this new galaxy that humans live in. Yeah, because like there you can visit Earth and shit like that, but it's not like where people are. It's all like fucked up. It's all Mad Max and shit. So like this is nothing new. This is just the planetary view. But if we press G and go to the surface map, yeah, there it is, boy. Oh fuck, the new map. Oh fuck, this shit looks so much better. Because before it was this weird, just like blue void with white dots. You could tell like, oh, there's a location here and there's locations here and stuff like that. You know, like mostly like these lit up white locations, like, oh, I'm here, the lodge is there, shit like that. But there was like no map. It was just like blue and just white dots. But now there's the fucking ships are orange. You can see ships. You got the you got the little courtyard here. I think the way that they explained it in the developer update is they basically like took the actual game map, you know, minus like the details and shit, like you can't see the details on the trees and stuff, but they took the actual game map and basically just made it a static image and then made it so that you can like zoom in and out and shit. Because like over here and stuff, I've never outside of like, you know, just Jemison itself, or sorry, New Atlantis, I've never been anywhere else in this entire fucking planet. But like, you know, you can zoom in over here, you can see there's like little fucking bodies of water over here. You can see that there's because like you could always see like unknown locations and stuff. But now you can kind of gauge like what this is. It's some sort of like tower. It looks like there's a little shack over here. This is probably like a satellite or a weather station or something. You can you see where the fucking trees are. You can see where like little fucking, you got building there, you got building there. I don't know if there's fucking like loot over here or whatever. You know, fucking like stuff fucking, there's just, it's so cool because now you can see like all the like locations you can explore and the like different like, you know, fucking like what's going on over here? What the fuck's all this about? I want to go over here. I want to check that out. This is so cool. You can see the fucking mountain terrains. There's a little fucking pond over here. This is so much better. And then you can see all the other, like this is the courtyard where and like all these guys, these little like fucking gabagoos right here. You know, these little blipples. This guy. These are all other like shops and like locations. The well, this specifically is one of the entrances to the lower section, the sort of like slums of New Atlantis. And so like now I know like where the fucking weapons store is. Now I know where Enhance is, which is the location where you go to like change your character up and stuff. Funnily enough, when you go here, I don't think it's all the time, but every once in a while you'll go to this location specifically and you'll hear two characters talking. And while it's not said directly, it's highly implied that one of the characters is somebody who just went through gender reassignment. Like they used to be a woman, now they're a man, and the other character is like, you look completely different. Your boyfriend's gonna flip, you know, because now you're a dude or whatever. It's so funny. And then like this was like a church that plays a part. Like you can just see everything now. Like here's the lodge, here's the exterior part, here's the area where we were just at over here where the transit station is. It's so cool. This is so fucking dope. And then like one of the really cool things is like you can actually visit what is it? You can actually visit like Mars is an inhabited planet, and you can visit this city called Sidonia. And because of this new map update, players were actually able to discover that I don't remember if it has like a specific name, but there's this formation of like mountains and stuff where you like on Mars there's this formation of like mountains and dunes and stuff that is shaped like a face on Mars. I think that's what it's called. I think it's called the face of Mars. And you can actually now see it on the map. And before you couldn't see that shit because one, it's so big that you would never be able to see it from the surface unless you know, fucking got way up high with like jetpacks and like, you know, shit like that. But now it's just like there on the map because you can see the entire map. That's so cool. It's so cool that Bethesda put that into the game, and now you can actually see it with this new map update. I don't know if anybody would have found that out otherwise. We'll have to go to Mars and check that out real quick. Good hearing planes flying over me while wearing earbuds, making me slightly paranoid. Like, right? Oh God, you're on a radio. You start hearing, oh, I fucking paint the target. Kind of like whenever you do a run in Fallout 4. For a second, I hear that nuke siren. I pause to take out my headphones to listen just in case. Right? Yeah. Like, uh-oh, is this it? Is this real? Did the fucking Chinese actually do it this time? 90% commentary, 10% reading comments. I mean, that's fucking what a stream is in general. Plus, you know, I'm paying attention to the comments. I see them. I see what you guys are talking about. Just not all of it is stuff that I need to read out or I need to respond to. Sometimes you guys are just talking to each other. I just broke the handle off my 1 gallon water jug and now I can't get the lid off. Oh shit, man. That's not good. Oh my God. I completely clicked the wrong button. Now you can like fucking rotate the map and shit. Oh, I don't know if that was a feature already. But like, yeah, you right click with the mouse and you can like rotate the map. That's so cool. Oh, this map update is a fucking work of art. I love it. I absolutely love this. It's so good. Like, Fallout 4's map system with the Pip-Boy and stuff, like in game, it makes sense. In Skyrim, it's definitely a lot more detailed than in Fallout 4. But again, two different games, two different approaches and stuff like that. But like Starfield, this is hands down the best map that I think I've ever seen in a game. I say one of specifically. There's most likely a bunch of other games that do maps better, but like this is just really, really good. This is just fucking amazing. I like this. I'm a big fan of this. Let me see if I can actually... Let me see if I can just... Can I... I don't think I can. I think I actually have to be on... I think I have to actually be on Mars in order to actually see... Yeah, that won't let me do it. All right. Let's jump back to here real quick and keep messing with the settings. Because we didn't get all the way through it. Oh, yeah. Cargo access distance. So the distance you are away from your ship, like if you're in New Atlantis here and you're trying to sell stuff at like the armory, for example, because the armory is farther away from your ship, you can set this up so it's like, I can sell stuff no matter where my cargo is stored, like on my ship. And then this one. So like you can like from where your ship is, you can go over to, I guess this is kind of one of the reasons I needed the map there. So let me, whoops, nope, not that one. Whoops, what'd I do? No, okay. Surface map. So like my ship is right here, right? And like right here, I think there's a shipmaster that you can talk to and buy new ships from, sell ships, stuff like that. But you can also just sell just random shit from him. And because your ship's right here, you have access to your ship's inventory from right here. But with these new settings, if I were to go like all the way over here to the Centurion Arsenal to try to buy weapons, originally, if I remember correctly, I would still have access to my ship's inventory and could just sell stuff there, right? Directly from my ship. But with these new settings, I can set it so that if I have stuff on here, like to the extreme, on one side of the extreme, I can sell anything anywhere. It doesn't matter where my ship is. But on the other side of the extreme, I can set it so that if I have stuff on my ship that I want to sell, I need to take those things from my ship's inventory and take them like down to this guy down here who's, buying and selling shit. Some stuff. And it won't let me access my ship's inventory from right here, let alone, way over here. So that adds a layer of immersion because now if you want to sell anything off of your ship that you have stored on your ship, you need to take it with you and take it over to where you want to sell it. But then at the same time, it gives you the freedom to, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. You can just mess with it in the settings. I really like that because it's very similar to like just any other RPG where it's like, if you want to sell something, you have to have it on your personage. So if I had, say in Fallout 4, if I had a whole bunch of like weapons and stuff stored in Sanctuary, I would have to take those weapons with me or those items with me. I would have to take them from Sanctuary to, to Diamond City or whatever to actually sell them. In Starfield, you can kind of do that, or in Starfield like a month ago, you could kind of do that from relatively anywhere, just by way of accessing your ship's inventory from any vendor you're selling to. But now with these new settings, you have the option of making it so that you can do that from anywhere. You can sell stuff from anywhere, or you can, you can change it so that the distance you can access your ship from is either non-existent or limitless. And admittedly, the only benefit you get from that is plus 2 XP. But from a gameplay perspective, from a I guess kind of like a realism perspective, you can make those changes. One of the games that I played recently was what was it? Another Crab's Treasure, which is basically like a Soulsborne game, but it's a it's like you're a crab and you're like fighting other crabs and shit. If you like, go watch the video that, or the stream that we did last week. No, not last week, the week before, because I couldn't play last week. Had an emergency. But like, go play that. It's a really fun game. It's basically like a T-rated, more bright and colorful Soulsborne game. I really like it, but one of the interesting things about it is it has an accessibility mode, which allows you to do things such as slow down the speed of the game, make it so that the reaction windows for when you're about to be attacked are bigger, so you have more time to react. And then there's just like cheesy things, like you can make it so that you don't take any damage, so that you can just fight and not have to worry about dying and going back all the time. You just want to like experience the game's story. And then there's a setting that basically just gives you a gun to one-hit shot fucking everything. But the point is, it has those accessibility options, which gives you as the player the ability to set and change how you approach the game, how you interact, and the speed at which the game actually happens. Do you want to experience the game in a harder, more difficult way? You have that option. But if you want to just, have fun and not worry about a lot of the stress that comes with playing harder games, because me personally, I've never played any Soulsborne game outside of Elden Ring, and I guess at this point, another Crab's Treasure. I've never played those games because I don't like playing hard games, because I know that they're just gonna fucking piss me off. But I really got into Elden Ring when it came out, and I really like Elden Ring. But without like, cheesing the game, like really grinding for the experience and shit, it's not as fun because of the fact that you're constantly on that grind. Another Crab's Treasure is interesting because it gives you the option to either have that sort of harder, more difficult Soulsborne experience, and gives you the ability to make it so that it's easier, so that if you are like really struggling, you can change it up so it's easier and more approachable for you, so that you can get better at the game. I really like that. That's really interesting. And that's one of the things that I think is really interesting about these new gameplay options that they added. Because again, with this cargo access distance specifically, originally you could access your cargo from anywhere. No matter where you're selling stuff, you could access it from, you could access the stuff that you have in your inventory and sell it. But with this new setting, you can make it so that you still have that ability, or you can make it so that if you want to sell stuff that's on your ship, you have to take stuff that's on your ship and go and sell it. And it's so cool because there's just so many settings in here. It's basically like craft your own hardcore mode, or craft the difficulty of the game. And you can see it down here, like save on rest, save on wait, save on travel, how often the game auto saves when you pause the game. These are things that were added in Fallout 4 as as just things that were changed for hardcore mode. And like here's oh yeah, I forgot that there is technically an aim assist a little bit. It's very subtle, but it is noticeable if you're paying attention a lot. But then like environmental damage and restoration and affliction, all this like other stuff. There's all these settings and stuff basically make it so that you can craft how easy or how difficult you want your gaming experience to be. If you want it to just be hard, just fucking crank it all up. Then you're on like extreme hardcore mode. If you don't, just decrease it, and then you have a little bit of a drop in your experience, like how much you gain. But you're not having to worry as much about struggling with the controls, or struggling to like keep up pace with the game. Like I said before, Starfield, like off rip, basically allowed you to set your own game pace. You can rush through it and experience all the loading screens, which admittedly there are still a lot of loading screens, or you can just take it as it comes. You can go slower with it, you can go faster with it. It basically allows you to set your own pace, and with all these gameplay options, it allows you to set your own difficulty level. Set how hard or how easy you want the game to be. I've been talking about this fucking way too long. I've just been gushing it because I just love the direction they're going with a lot of the technical aspects of Starfield. I think it's really interesting. I think it's really creative. Maybe not creative, but like it just adds so much more accessibility and customization to not only the game itself, but the gaming experience. That's what I think is really cool. Oh god. Let's see. Strange, Twitch shows you as live, but said you were online, but I came here. How's thing? Said you were offline. Yeah, let me double check that real quick, because we had the same issue, we had the same issue the last time I streamed. Let me refresh here, because it was saying like, oh, you are online, but when you like actually get in to watch the stream, it just shows it as it just shows the stream as black, and I don't think it even plays audio. I'm like, yeah, that's basically what's going on right now. It's offline, but it shows me as live, but there's like the screen is black, and then it says that it's offline. So I think what that is an issue between the multi-streaming platform or multi-streaming service that I'm using, which is Restream, which allows me to stream on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So it's an issue. I'm pretty sure it's an issue with that, and that's like a brand new issue. Like it wasn't doing that like a month ago. So I think that's what the issue is. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the problem is. I haven't that's one of the things I don't really like about streaming. Because as far as I know anyway, there's no way to really like test your streaming unless you basically just make like a dummy account, right? That you're basically just set it up to like, oh, does this work? Does it go live when I do this? Does it go live when I do that? I don't think there's any way to do that on like, main. But like I've always kind of messing with stuff every now and then, but I think that's what's going on with my streaming stuff right now. I think it's just a restream thing, which at this point is just another reason for me to just not have restream and just stream natively to either Twitch or YouTube. I've been talking about this like internally with my I guess specifically at this point my modding or not my modding, my the people I have like doing moderation for me on Discord, who are also my friends, and I've been talking with them and stuff like that. Like I've been thinking about this, I've been thinking about that. So I'm, especially with Restream continuing to act up, I'm probably going to lean into either streaming specifically on YouTube or on Twitch, just like natively, because Restream just seems to be just fucking breaking down at this point and getting worse and worse. I know that Twitch has changed up their policy so that they allow I think that there's an actual name for it, like simul streaming or something, where you can basically stream on multiple platforms, including Twitch. I don't know if there's like an official way to set that up or if they've rolled that out or whatever, but the point is, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards streaming specifically on Twitch again, as opposed to just streaming on YouTube, because while, it's kind of tiny bit more convenient to stream on YouTube specifically, I feel like there's just more like adjustability, and there's a bigger platform to stream on Twitch as opposed to YouTube. I don't know. I might mess with it. But at this point, that I'm just fucking thinking out loud here at some point. So I'll probably go in and, make a decision on that, eventually. But for right now, we're just gonna kind of continue along as is. Given the fact that this is the second stream in a row where it just hasn't been working on Twitch through Restream. This might be the last multicast stream that I do where I stream to both YouTube and Twitch. I'll probably tinker with it, see if there's any sort of issue with just streaming directly to Twitch. You know, maybe there's something wrong with my Twitch account. I'm not 100% sure. But point is, I'll look into that, and then I'll make some sort of determination as to how we're going to move forward from that. Oh, God damn it. Oh, it burns. The fucking rock star burns. All right. I've been spending way too much time doing this shit. What am I doing here? Okay. Vendor credits. This will occur only after a vendor inventory restocks about once a week. Okay. So how many credits vendors have to purchase items, reduce credit, greatly increased credits. Okay. That's fine. Medical healing items. Set how med packs, trauma packs, emergency kits restore health. Medical items restore more. Standard amount, or medical items restore the standard amount more slowly. Okay, so that's basically just means slower healing when you use a med pack thing. Okay, that makes sense. I'm fine with that, because that's kind of how in like modded Fallout 4, that's kind of how it was already. At least if I'm remembering correctly. But as far as these healing things, or at least this one, it seems like it restores the same amount, it just does it more slowly, which makes sense. And then this is just like food and sleep doesn't restore health. That both of those make absolute sense, kind of. Ooh, wait a minute. Full restore, sleeping restores health and cures afflictions anywhere. Anywhere, interesting. Sleeping restores health anywhere. Sleeping restores health in ships, outposts, and settlements. Okay. So the locational thing would be specifically like if I'm sleeping somewhere that's like a safe area. If I'm sleeping somewhere that's not a safe area, then it's not going to do anything. But if I just set it to none, do I gain? Yeah, so that's +4. Okay. That makes sense. I think I'm fine with that. Sustenance. Sets how food and drink grants sustenance effect. If you do not gain positive or negative sustenance effects. Positive only, food and drink grants positive effects, fed and hydrated. Positive and negative. Food and drink grants positive effects and prevents negative effects, malnutrition and dehydration. Okay, so that seems to be insinuating that it's more of a like a Fallout 76 survival mode as opposed to Fallout 4 survival mode, because Fallout 4 survival mode was if you don't eat or drink if you don't drink or eat food after a certain point, you will just like straight up die because you haven't ate or drank anything. But in Fallout 76, they changed it up to where if your hunger or thirst meter drops to 0 or drops below a certain point, you just get negative status effects, which me personally, I like it and I don't like it. I like it in the sense that it means that going a long time without eating or drinking won't, kill you and then potentially put you into a soft lock, especially based on how when you saved or when the last autosave was and stuff like that, and how quickly you can get to food or water, yada. But I like it in the sense that it prevents that, but I don't like it in the sense that it sort of takes, because I mean, like, you go fucking like a week without eating or drinking, you're gonna die. Like, that's realism. But in the video game sense, that realism sort of gets in the way of the continual progression of a video game. Regardless of what game it is, dying is not good. Fucking a game over screen is never a good thing. Very, very rarely is it a good thing anyway. So I like this because it just means that you just get a big negative debuff. How big that is, I like that more than just like the game over screen. So that's pretty good. I might turn on ammo weight. What's the +4 for ammo weight? I'll turn that on just to fuck with it. Oh fuck. Okay, cool. I'll probably, I don't know. I might fuck with these, a little bit further. I like the new stuff they added with Starfield. I also really like the new stuff. I just spent fucking like 10 minutes absolutely gushing over the map, and you can like tilt rotate it. You can like, I'll show it once we finish up here, but you can like rotate the map so that you can like view it from it's the same angle, but you can view it from like different you like right click and you can like move it like that, and you can like move the little fucking miniature diorama that is the map. You can move that around and see it from different angles. I really like it. Man, it would be so cool if the filling up empty bottles to make dirty water was a normal thing in Fallout 4 instead of just survival. Yeah, that also would be cool. I think that's how it is in Fallout 76, I think. I could be wrong. I think I am wrong. I don't think that's how it is in Fallout 76, but yeah, as like an inherent thing out of survival mode, that would have made sense. But at the same time, for it to be in survival mode, I think is also just as good. Combat affliction gain sets how likely you are to gain afflictions from combat. Okay, increased. You have a significant chance to gain afflictions from creatures, turrets, robots, and human weapons. Okay, so I think that means like if you get hit, you have a higher likelihood of like breaking a bone or bleeding out or something like that. Sure, that sounds dope. Fucking bleeding out and breaking bones is that fucking base. Let's go. All right. Sets how treatment works in afflictions. Treatments improve prognosis up to excellent, but do not cure afflictions. Okay. So this is saying that when you become afflicted with something such as, malnutrition, or I mean, maybe not malnutrition, but like you having like an abrasion or something, you get some sort of status effect. The treatment. So let me see here. Sets how prognosis affects in afflictions, chance of improving to cure, and adds a chance to worsen or gain infections while prognosis is poor. Okay. Afflictions have a chance to worsen or gain infections and have a better chance to cure and improve. Okay, so there's the treating and there's the actual curing process. The treatment process here says that I can treat it up into an excellent treatment status, but it doesn't cure it. Whereas treating it will just cure the affliction. And then I have prognosis. Afflictions have no chance to worsen or gain infections and have a standard chance to cure and improve. So that will just, as normal, there's no way for it to get worse or better, and it can just like get better, like actually, there's no chance for it to worsen or become infected, and it could just go away on its own. So it's got like a half-life, a shelf life, as it were. But in the advanced stage, there is a chance for it to get worse, and have a better chance to cure and improve. Oh, it has a better chance to cure and improve. So it could get a lot better, or it could get worse. I like that. That's just straight up better. Cool. Let's go. That's a +5. That's a +6. Damn, that's pretty good. I have fucking 67% fucking plus experience here. Granted, it's a much harder game now. Sets how environmental damage and afflictions are gained from the environment. Off. No environmental damage or afflictions are gained from the environment. Environmental damage and afflictions are gained from hazards. Afflictions are gained from weather. Environmental damage and afflictions are gained from hazards, weather, and ambiently on dangerous planets. So there's specific planets that are just like more dangerous or more hazardous than other planets, and this is basically just saying like, hey, if you're on one of those planets or are in a situation where there is a chance for environmental issues such as like toxic weather or air or anything like that, like that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get fucking hit. And this is just changing up how much that affects you. So like if we go back to the if we go back to our armor right here, there's thermal resistance, airborne resistance, corrosive resistance, and radiation resistance. That setting is basically just saying, like, if you're in one of those situations where, like, say, you know, you're on a planet and you're just getting, like, bathed in radiation, you already have a default defense against it. But in this instance, you have a higher chance of becoming, affected by something. So that makes a whole lot more sense. In and of itself, it already made sense, but making it more advanced is basically just saying, like, you have a higher likelihood of earning one of these status effects by being in these more dangerous environments for longer periods of time. I like that. Let's go. Environmental damage restoration. Restores while in a breathable location, unexposed to environmental damage, and then limited resting. Restored while waiting or sleeping in a ship, outpost, or settlements. Okay, so the environmental damage thing is something that will continue to be... if you sleep, it'll get rid of your environmental damage, but it will not get rid of affliction. So if you broke a bone while out and about dancing around in polluted, water or, oxygen or whatever, if you sleep, your pollution from that environmental damage will go away, but you'll still have a broken bone. I like that. That makes sense. I decided to give up on doing all the Fallout 4 achievements the natural way. I want my mods back, so I'm going to be cheating using CC content to speed up getting achievements on vanilla. Hell yeah. That's the way to do it. Fucking, like, make your own game. Make your own experience. That's what Bethesda's doing. So that's what you should do. Alright. Note, this setting only applies to controller use. It has no effect on mouse and keyboard input. Okay, so if I change this, do I get... No, alright. So we don't need to worry about this. That's only mouse and keyboard. So no change there, no change there. That's just setting stuff. So only all these guys up until aim assistance are adding any sort of change to the game itself. Okay. So we got everything turned on. We are on the hardest difficulty that this game can get to, and as a result have an additional plus 75 to experience. That's interesting. Let's see how the game plays. I think everything else is pretty decent. We don't really have to worry about settings or anything like that. Let's go. Let me turn my guy off here. Oh wait, no. Let me do this. Let's just take off. And then once because I want to run over to Mars real quick and check that shit out. I almost forgot. One of the other new things is that you can there's like interior ship customization. You like fucking add shit. Let's go over here. Let's jump there first and foremost. But it's not something that I don't believe it's something that you can. I know it's not something that you can do on this end game ship that we have here. So I'll have to like actually get in to another ship. We have one off rip. Oh gosh, what's the no, stop doing that. What's the other ship called? Let me see here. Guardian, the Frontier, that was it. I think if we go into the Frontier, we can do it. So I'll have to check that out. Let's see. This Mars? Oh, yes, it is Mars, but is that where we are? I think it is. Let me...
Unidentified ship.
Frontier? Yeah, that was it.
We're going to attempt to scan you for contraband.
Okay.
Please comply. Pretty please. And we're done. Enjoy Sidonia.
Okay, thank you. So, whoops, that's not it. I have to actually be on the planet's surface. Yeah, Sidonia. I unlocked the Colonel Autumn outfit and instantly thought this would look 100% better with AWKCR, with armor pants, albeit clipping, yeah. Reinforce your armor, look of the uniform. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Look clean. I thought that I heard that there was like a better, like not many people use AWKCR anymore. There's like a different there's like a different mod that does basically the exact same thing, because I think AWKCR was outdated at this point or had some sort of like issue with it. I don't remember exactly. Maybe I'm just completely misremembering, but I thought that there was something like that, because I don't think I use it in my load order anymore. I can't remember. I don't know why I came out here. I'm not out here to do anything. All right, so surface map. There we go. All right, where's that face? Oh, yeah, there it is. There's the face. God, that's fucking huge. There's the face. Hell yeah, that's fucking